Welcome to Audiobook segment. Every story you'll hear is crafted from the ground up, written, produced, and narrated entirely by us. Nothing recycled, nothing repurposed, just original work made for this channel. So grab your headphones, settle in, and enjoy today's audiobook. Success doesn't happen overnight. It's not a single moment of luck or one big opportunity that changes everything. Real success grows from what you do every single day, your habits, your choices, your mindset. The life you live tomorrow is being built by the things you do today. In this audiobook, we'll explore 10 simple but powerful habits that can completely transform your life. These aren't complicated systems or secrets known only to a few. They are practical, proven, and realistic habits that anyone can apply, no matter where you're starting from. You don't have to be the smartest, the richest, or the most talented person in the room. You just have to be consistent. Every small, positive action builds strength, focus, and confidence. Over time, these small actions compound into extraordinary results. As you listen, imagine yourself putting these habits into practice. Picture what your life could look like 6 months from now, 1 year from now, if you simply stay consistent. The goal of this audiobook is not just to motivate you, it's to help you build the discipline, focus, and persistence to succeed. If you find value in what you hear, remember to subscribe and share this audiobook with someone who's also working toward their goals. Together, we can create a ripple effect of positive change, one habit at a time. Now, let's begin. Let's discover the 10 habits you need to achieve success. Chapter 1. The Habit of Clarity. Every journey begins with direction. Without a clear destination, even the most motivated traveler will wander in circles. The same is true for success. You can work hard, stay busy, and put in endless effort, but if you don't know where you're going, your energy will scatter. Clarity is the first and most important habit of success. Clarity means knowing what you want, why you want it, and how you plan to get there. It's not about having every step figured out, but about understanding your purpose. When you have clarity, decisions become easier. You stop wasting time on distractions and focus your energy on what truly matters. Most people never achieve what they want because they never define it clearly. They say they want success, but they can't describe what success looks like for them. Is it financial freedom, health, peace of mind, strong relationships? Without clarity, even the best opportunities can feel confusing. Think of your mind like a camera. When it's out of focus, everything looks blurry. But once you adjust the lens, the picture becomes sharp. Clarity brings focus to your goals, turning vague dreams into specific targets. To build the habit of clarity, start with questions. What do you truly want? Why does it matter? What are you willing to do to achieve it? Writing these answers down is powerful. It transforms abstract thoughts into concrete intentions. When your goals live only in your head, they fade with emotions, but when you write them down, they become real. Clarity is not a one-time event, it's something you practice daily. Life changes, priorities shift, and your understanding of success evolves. Revisit your goals regularly, adjust them as you grow. Staying clear about your direction keeps you grounded and focused, even when things around you change. Distractions are everywhere. Social media, comparison, and constant noise pull your attention in every direction. Without clarity, it's easy to lose yourself trying to chase what others have, but clarity helps you stay true to your own path. It reminds you that your journey doesn't have to look like anyone else's. Clarity also brings confidence. When you know where you're going, doubt fades. You may not know every step, but you trust that each action moves you closer to your goal. This confidence creates momentum, and momentum keeps you consistent. Clarity doesn't mean perfection. You don't need to know everything before starting. Many people waste years waiting for perfect conditions. The truth is, clarity grows with action. Each step forward reveals more of the path. The more you move, the clearer things become. Building the habit of clarity begins with stillness. In a noisy world, silence helps you think. Spend a few minutes each day reflecting. No phone, no music, no distractions. Ask yourself where your energy is going. Are you working toward your goals or just staying busy? When you take time to think, you discover what matters. You recognize what deserves your focus and what doesn't. That awareness is the foundation of clarity. Clarity simplifies life. Once you know your priorities, you can say now without guilt. You stop wasting time on things that don't serve your purpose. Every decision becomes easier because you have a clear filter. Does this bring me closer to my goal or not? This simplicity reduces stress. Unclear goals create confusion, and confusion leads to anxiety. Clarity removes guesswork. You act with purpose, and your mind becomes calm because you know why you're doing what you're doing. Clarity also helps in relationships. When you know your values, you attract people who share them. You communicate more effectively because your intentions are clear. Whether in friendships, family, or work, clarity strengthens trust. Visualization supports clarity. When you picture your goals vividly, your brain begins to align your actions with that vision. Imagine your future self living the life you want. See the details, feel the emotions. The clearer the image, the stronger your motivation becomes. Clarity also creates accountability. When you know what success means to you, you can measure progress honestly. You know when you're moving forward and when you're off track. Tracking progress becomes meaningful because your destination is defined. Building clarity isn't about speed, it's about direction. You can move fast and still go the wrong way, but with clarity, even slow progress moves you towards success. Every small intentional step counts. To make clarity a daily habit, start your mornings with focus. Before diving into your day, remind yourself of your top priorities. What are the 3 most important things you can do today that align with your bigger goal? This practice connects your daily actions to your long-term vision. At night, reflect. Did you move closer to your goals today? What distracted you? What can you improve tomorrow? These small reflections reinforce focus and help your clarity grow stronger every day. Clarity also requires honesty. Be truthful about what you want and what it takes to achieve it. Sometimes people say they want success, but they fear the effort it requires. Clarity strips away excuses. It forces you to see reality and choose your path consciously. Over time, clarity becomes your compass. It keeps you centered when life gets chaotic. It reminds you why you started and where you're headed. Even when challenges come, clarity gives you strength to stay consistent. When you live with clarity, your goals guide your behavior. You stop reacting to circumstances and start creating your future. Every action becomes intentional, every decision purposeful. Success begins with seeing clearly. The clearer your vision, the stronger your direction, and the greater your results. The world doesn't shape your destiny. You do through the clarity of your choices. So, take time today to define what success means to you. Write it down, visualize it, reflect on it, because clarity is the first habit that turns dreams into reality. And once you build the habit of clarity, the other 9 habits will follow naturally, each one building upon the foundation of knowing exactly where you're going and why. Chapter 2. The habit of consistency. If clarity gives you direction, consistency keeps you moving. Success doesn't come from one big action. It's built through small actions repeated every single day. The most successful people aren't the ones who make huge changes overnight. They're the ones who stay consistent even when motivation fades. Consistency is the bridge between goals and results. It's what turns intention into achievement. Anyone can start, but very few people keep going. That's why consistency is rare and powerful. Think about how nature works. Rivers carve through rock, not because of strength, but because of persistence. The steady flow of water, drop after drop, changes the landscape over time. That's how consistency works in life. Each effort, each repetition shapes your future. Many people struggle because they wait to feel ready, but consistency isn't about feeling, it's about doing. Some days you'll feel inspired, other days you won't. The key is to show up anyway. Discipline matters more than mood. When you build the habit of consistency, you don't rely on motivation. Motivation comes and goes, but habits stay. You learn to act based on commitment, not emotion. That's when progress becomes unstoppable. Consistency builds trust with yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, even a small one, your confidence grows. You begin to believe in your ability to follow through. This self-trust becomes the foundation of success. Let's take a simple example. Imagine you want to read more books. You could promise to read for 2 hours a day, but after a week, life gets busy, and you stop. Instead, if you commit to reading just 10 minutes every night, you'll probably stick with it. 10 minutes may seem small, but over months, it adds up to dozens of books. Small, consistent steps always win over big, inconsistent bursts. The secret to consistency is making it easy to start. When a task feels huge, you'll avoid it. But when it feels small, your brain says, I can do that. That's why successful people break big goals into small daily actions. Consistency isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. You'll have off days. Everyone does. The difference is that consistent people don't quit. They get back on track as soon as possible. One missed day doesn't ruin your progress. Quitting does. Here's something most people misunderstand. Consistency is not about intensity, it's about identity. When you make consistency part of who you are, you act naturally in line with it. For example, if you see yourself as a healthy person, exercising becomes automatic. You don't have to think about it, it's just what you do. Building identity-based consistencies starts with how you talk to yourself. Instead of saying, I'm trying to be consistent, say I am a consistent person. That shift changes how you behave. Your mind begins to align your actions with your identity. Another key to consistency is routine. A routine removes decision fatigue. When you know what to do and when to do it, you spend less energy deciding and more energy doing. Consistency thrives on structure. But structure doesn't mean rigidity. Life changes, and you'll need flexibility. The goal is not to follow a perfect schedule, but to create rhythms that fit your life. Morning routines, evening reflections, or set work hours, these give your day stability and predictability. Tracking progress helps too. When you can see your streaks, how many days you've shown up, it creates momentum. Humans love progress. Even a small check mark on a calendar or a simple done your list gives your brain a reward signal. It feels good, and that feeling keeps you going. Consistency also connects deeply with patience. You must trust the process, even when results don't show up right away. The seed doesn't sprout the day it's planted. Growth takes time. But each day you water it, it gets closer to breaking through. Many people quit not because they fail, but because they stop too soon. Success is often just beyond the point where most people give up. The habit of consistency teaches you to stay in the game long enough to win. To stay consistent, learn to embrace boredom. Yes, boredom. The truth is, success is often repetitive. Doing the same small things every day can feel dull. But mastery comes from repetition. The great athletes, musicians, and entrepreneurs do the basics over and over again until they become second nature. If you can fall in love with repetition, you'll never lose. That's the mindset of consistency. Doing the work, even when it's not exciting. Consistency also means focusing on process, not just outcome. When you focus only on results, you get frustrated if they're slow. But when you focus on showing up and improving daily, results come naturally. Success becomes a byproduct of your consistent effort. Let's say you're learning a new skill, like public speaking. If you expect to be great after a few tries, you'll feel disappointed. But if you commit to practicing a little each week, you'll notice progress over time. The skill grows with every repetition, every lesson learned. A big part of consistency is environment. Your surroundings either support your habits or sabotage them. If you want to write every morning, keep your notebook on your desk. If you want to eat healthy, fill your kitchen with good food. Design your environment to make consistency easy and failure difficult. Accountability helps too. When you share your goals with someone you trust, you add positive pressure. You become more likely to follow through because you don't want to let them or yourself down. Remember, consistency compounds. Each small action builds on the last. Over time, these tiny efforts create massive results. You won't notice it at first, but one day you'll look back and realize how far you've come. Consistency turns potential into power. Without it, talent is wasted. With it, even ordinary effort becomes extraordinary. When you practice consistency, you train your mind to stay focused, your habits to stay strong, and your life to stay aligned with your goals. The more consistent you are, the easier success becomes. Not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. So how do you start building this habit? Begin with one thing. Don't try to change everything at once. Pick one habit you want to master and commit to it daily. Keep it small, simple, and doable. Let your consistency build confidence. Every day you show up, you're proving to yourself that you can be trusted to take action. That trust is powerful. It's what separates dreamers from doers. In the end, consistency is not about never missing. It's about never giving up. Progress is not a straight line. It's a pattern of persistence. Stay steady. Keep showing up, even when it's slow, even when it's hard, because every small step repeated daily will eventually lead you exactly where you want to go. Chapter 3: The Habit of Focus. In a world full of distractions, focus has become one of the rarest and most valuable habits you can develop. Everyone wants to succeed, but few people can give their full attention to one thing long enough to master it. The truth is, success doesn't belong to those who do the most. It belongs to those who can stay focused the longest. Focus means learning to say no. It's the ability to direct your energy toward what truly matters and ignore everything else. Every time you say yes to one thing, you are saying no to something else. The question is, are you saying yes to the right thing? When you're focused, you create depth instead of just movement. You make real progress instead of staying busy. Most people confuse being busy with being productive. They run from task to task, checking boxes, but they don't move closer to their goals. Focus separates movement from progress. The human brain wasn't designed to handle constant notifications, scrolling, and multitasking. Each distraction takes a piece of your attention, leaving you mentally exhausted, but emotionally unsatisfied. You might feel like you worked hard, but you didn't accomplish anything meaningful. To master the habit of focus, you must learn to protect your attention like it's your most valuable currency, because it is. Time is limited, but attention is even more limited. You can waste hours without realizing it if your attention is scattered. True focus begins with clarity. You can't focus if you don't know what you're focusing on. Every morning, remind yourself, what's the most important thing I need to do today? If you could only do one task that would move you closer to your goal, what would it be? That's your focus for the day. When you train your mind to direct all your energy toward one meaningful task, your work becomes deeper and faster. You enter a state of flow where distractions fade and time seems to disappear. That's where mastery lives. But here's the challenge: the world will always try to pull you away. Distractions are everywhere. Your phone, your social media, your email, your thoughts. The key is not to eliminate them completely, but to control your relationship with them. You have to train your brain to focus again. One way to strengthen focus is through deliberate practice. Start small, choose one task, and set a timer for 20 minutes. During that time, do nothing else. No phone, no multitasking, no checking messages, just you and your work. At first, your mind will resist. It will wander, but each time you bring it back, you're strengthening your mental muscles. Over time, you'll find it easier to concentrate for longer periods. Focus, like any habit, gets stronger with repetition. Another key to focus is environment. If your surroundings are chaotic, your mind will be too. Create a space that supports deep work, clean, quiet, and free of distractions. When your environment signals focus, your mind follows. You can also use rituals to help you enter a focused state. For example, lighting a candle, putting on calm music, or making a cup of coffee before starting work. These signals tell your brain, it's time to concentrate. But the biggest obstacle to focus isn't external, it's internal. The urge to switch tasks comes from discomfort. Focus requires patience. It demands you stay with one thing long enough to face boredom, frustration, and difficulty. Most people escape that feeling by jumping to something easier, but that escape comes at a cost. Your potential. If you want to achieve big success, you must train yourself to stay with hard things longer than others do. Focus is endurance. It's the quiet strength that keeps you on track when your mind wants to wander. There's a simple truth: what you focus on grows. If you focus on problems, they get bigger. If you focus on solutions, they get stronger. If you focus on your goals, you start to see opportunities. Energy flows where attention goes. The mind is like a lens. When it's scattered, light spreads everywhere. But when it's focused, it burns through obstacles like a laser. That's the power of focus. To protect your focus, you must manage your inputs. What you consume shapes your thinking. If your day starts with endless scrolling or negative news, your mind gets cluttered before you even begin. Start your day with purpose instead, with silence, reading, reflection, or journaling. Feed your mind clarity, not chaos. Learn to use focus blocks. Divide your day into deep work sessions, where you give your full attention to one task, followed by short breaks. This balance keeps your energy high and prevents burnout. It's not about working longer, it's about working deeper. Focus also requires you to let go of multitasking. Multitasking feels productive, but it actually splits your attention. The brain can't fully concentrate on two things at once. It just switches rapidly between them, losing efficiency each time. When you multitask, you sacrifice quality for quantity. Successful people don't do everything. They do the right things well. They choose their priorities and commit to them completely. Focus is also emotional control. When distractions tempt you, it's often because of stress or boredom. The habit of focus means training yourself to stay calm and grounded, even when you feel the urge to escape. Breathing deeply, stretching, or taking mindful pauses helps you regain control. Some of the greatest minds in history were masters of focus. Leonardo da Vinci could spend hours studying a single brushstroke. Thomas Edison could work for days on one experiment. Their secret wasn't talent, it was attention. They gave their full presence to what they loved. You can develop the same power. You don't need genius, you need dedication. Each time you choose to focus, you strengthen your ability to control your life. Focus also means saying no to good things, so you can say yes to great things. You can't do everything. When you try, you scatter your power. But when you narrow your attention, your energy becomes unstoppable. Remember, the world rewards those who create value, and value comes from depth, not distraction. The habit of focus isn't just about productivity, it's about peace. When your mind isn't constantly pulled in every direction, you feel calm, you feel present, you enjoy what you're doing instead of rushing through it. Focus helps you live intentionally instead of reactively. You stop being a passenger in your own life and start being the driver. To build focus, give yourself fewer choices. Too many options create decision fatigue. Simplify your life so that your attention is saved for what truly matters. Set boundaries with your time. Schedule focus hours where you're unreachable and let people know your time is your life. Guard it wisely. And finally, remember this. Focus isn't something you find, it's something you practice. Every time you bring your attention back to what matters, even after getting distracted, you win. You strengthen your focus muscle. In the end, focus turns chaos into clarity, dreams into results, and effort into excellence. When you master the habit of focus, you no longer chase success. You create it, one concentrated moment at a time. Chapter 4. The Habit of Self-Discipline. Success begins with self-discipline. It's the habit that holds every other habit together. Without discipline, your dreams stay as dreams. Without discipline, goals lose direction. Talent, intelligence, and passion may start the journey, but only discipline finishes it. Self-discipline means doing what you know you should do, even when you don't feel like it. It's choosing action over comfort, long-term growth over short-term pleasure. Discipline is the quiet force that turns intentions into reality. Many people believe motivation leads to success, but motivation fades, discipline stays. Motivation might get you started, but discipline keeps you moving when the excitement disappears. Motivation depends on emotion, discipline depends on commitment. Imagine your life as a train. Motivation is the spark that starts the engine, but discipline is the track that keeps it moving forward. Without the track, the train derails. Without discipline, your goals fall apart. Self-discipline is not about punishment or harshness. It's about self-respect. When you discipline yourself, you're saying, I care enough about my future to make the hard choices today. It's not about forcing yourself, it's about training yourself. Discipline begins with small decisions. Every time you choose to wake up early instead of sleeping in, study instead of scrolling, or exercise instead of making excuses, you strengthen your self-control. Discipline is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. But like any muscle, it grows through challenge. You won't build discipline by doing what's easy. You build it by doing what's necessary. There's a simple truth. If you only act when you feel good, you'll never reach greatness. Discipline teaches you to act even when you don't feel ready. That's where growth begins. Successful people don't always want to do the hard things. They just do them anyway. They understand that feelings follow actions, not the other way around. Once you start, motivation appears. Once you finish, pride replaces resistance. To build discipline, start with structure. Structure removes temptation. When your day has a clear plan, you don't have to negotiate with yourself every hour. You already know what to do and when to do it. Routine protects you from indecision. Set clear boundaries. Don't rely on willpower alone. Create systems that make discipline easier. If you want to stop wasting time on your phone, leave it in another room while you work. If you want to eat healthy, don't buy junk food. Discipline thrives in simplicity. Another part of self-discipline is learning to delay gratification. That means choosing rewards that last over pleasures that fade. The most successful people are those who can wait. They understand that the best results take time. Think of a seed. When you plant it, nothing happens for days or weeks. But under the soil, growth is happening. You water it daily, even though you can't see progress. That's discipline. You keep showing up because you trust the process. The opposite of discipline is comfort. Comfort is easy, but it keeps you average. Discipline is hard, but it makes you exceptional. Every time you choose comfort, you trade your potential for a moment of ease. Every time you choose discipline, you invest in your future self. It's not about being perfect. You'll make mistakes, You'll miss days, you'll fall short sometimes. But the key is to get back on track quickly. Discipline isn't about never falling. It's about never staying down. One powerful way to build self-discipline is through accountability. Tell someone your goal. When others know your commitment, you become more likely to follow through. External accountability helps you strengthen internal discipline. Discipline also grows from self-awareness. You must know your weaknesses. Don't ignore them. Manage them. If you know mornings are hard, prepare your routine the night before. If you know social media distracts you, schedule specific times to check it. The disciplined person doesn't rely on self-control every moment. They design their life to make good choices easy and bad choices hard. Consistency is the heart of discipline. Doing something once means little. Doing it daily builds character. You can't rush discipline. It's earned through repetition, through showing up again and again, even when no one is watching. Remember this: discipline is freedom. It gives you control over your actions, your time, your emotions. Without discipline, you live by impulse. With it, you live by intention. Many people think freedom means doing whatever you want. Not. True freedom is having the strength to do what's right, not just what feels good. When you have discipline, you're not controlled by cravings, distractions, or fear. You control yourself. Discipline brings confidence. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, your trust grows. You start believing in your ability to overcome obstacles. That belief becomes your greatest weapon. Sometimes, discipline feels lonely. Others may not understand why you work so hard or why you say no to things they enjoy, but that's the price of growth. You're not building a moment, you're building a life. When you stay disciplined long enough, results start showing. You become sharper, stronger, and more focused. Opportunities appear because consistency attracts success. People start to notice your reliability. They trust you because you've proven that you can be trusted. But even then, discipline doesn't stop. The moment you relax too much, progress slows. Success isn't a finish line, it's a habit you maintain. To stay disciplined, reconnect with your why. Why did you start? Why does this goal matter? When temptation appears, your why will remind you of the bigger picture. Visualization helps too. Imagine your future self, the person who stayed disciplined, who reached their goals. What does that version of you look like? How do they think, act, and feel? Every disciplined choice brings you closer to that person. You can also use small wins to build momentum. Celebrate progress, but don't settle. Each step forward deserves acknowledgement, that the journey continues. Discipline also teaches patience. Success rarely happens on your schedule. Sometimes you'll give your best and still not see results immediately. That's okay. The disciplined person keeps going, trusting that time will reward effort. In the end, discipline is the foundation of all achievement. Without it, talent is wasted and potential fades. With it, even average effort becomes extraordinary. When you master self-discipline, you stop living reactively. You stop waiting for the perfect time. You become the kind of person who acts, who leads, who finishes. And that's the real secret of success. It's not luck, not chance, but discipline, repeated daily, that transforms your life. So next time you feel tired, distracted, or tempted to quit, remember this: discipline doesn't take from you. It gives to you. It gives you strength, control, and pride. Every act of discipline plants a seed of greatness. Water it daily and watch your life transform. Chapter 5. The habit of gratitude. Gratitude is one of the simplest habits you can build, but it's also one of the most powerful. It changes how you see your life, your challenges, and yourself. Success without gratitude feels empty. Gratitude turns what you have into enough, and what you dream of into something possible. Most people chase more money, more recognition, more achievement, but no matter how much they get, they still feel unsatisfied. That's because true happiness doesn't come from what you have, It comes from how you see what you have. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already there. When you practice gratitude, you train your mind to see abundance instead of lack. You begin to notice the small things, the sunrise, a friend's smile, the chance to start again today. Gratitude opens your eyes to the gifts that were always around you, but often ignored. It's easy to be grateful when life is good, but real gratitude shows its power when life is hard, when things don't go your way, when plans fall apart, when challenges come. Gratitude helps you stay grounded. It reminds you that even in struggle, there's still something to learn, something to appreciate. Gratitude doesn't deny pain, it transforms it. It helps you find meaning in what you're going through. When you ask, "What can I learn from this?" instead of, "Why is this happening to me?" your mindset changes from victim to victor. Scientific research even proves it. People who practice gratitude regularly are happier, less stressed, and more resilient. They sleep better, handle challenges better, and form stronger relationships. Gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a tool for mental strength. But gratitude doesn't happen automatically. It's a habit you build, and like any habit, it starts small. Each morning, take a moment to think of 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. It could be your health, your family, your breath, or simply the opportunity to try again. Writing them down helps even more. When you put gratitude into words, it becomes real. At first, it may feel repetitive or simple, but as days pass, you'll notice your thoughts shift. You'll complain less. You'll start seeing beauty in ordinary moments. You'll stop comparing your life to others and start appreciating your own path. Gratitude also changes how you relate to people. When you express appreciation to others, you strengthen bonds. A simple thank you can make someone's day. It tells them they matter, that what they do makes a difference. Gratitude builds connection, and connection is at the heart of success. When you live with gratitude, your energy changes. People feel it. Opportunities are drawn to people who radiate appreciation and positivity. Gratitude makes you magnetic. Another hidden power of gratitude is that it reduces fear. When you focus on what you have, you stop worrying so much about what you lack. Fear lives in scarcity. Gratitude lives in abundance. The more grateful you are, the less power fear has over you. Even when you fail, gratitude helps you keep perspective. Instead of thinking, "I lost," you start thinking, "I learned." You see every setback as a lesson, every mistake as experience. That mindset keeps you moving forward, even through failure. Gratitude also builds patience. When you're thankful for the process, you stop rushing the outcome. You trust that what's meant for you will come at the right time. Gratitude teaches you to enjoy the journey, not just the destination. Here's something powerful. You can't be truly grateful and angry at the same time. You can't be grateful and envious. Gratitude replaces negativity with peace. It's the antidote to comparison and dissatisfaction. Sometimes people think gratitude means settling, like being content means giving up ambition. But that's not true. Gratitude doesn't mean you stop striving. It means you strive from a place of fullness, not emptiness. You can be grateful for what you have and still want to grow. Think of gratitude as fuel. When you move with appreciation, you move with joy. Work becomes lighter, goals feel exciting, and challenges become opportunities. Gratitude gives purpose to your effort. When life gets hard, take a breath and find one thing, even a small one, to be thankful for. Maybe it's simply the chance to try again. That small thought can shift your entire emotional state. Gratitude grounds you in the present moment. It reminds you that you're still here, still capable, still moving forward. Gratitude also helps you see the people behind your progress. None of us succeed alone. Teachers, friends, family, mentors, all leave invisible fingerprints on our journey. When you acknowledge them, you grow humility and respect. Success without humility becomes arrogance, and arrogance destroys progress. Gratitude keeps you grounded. Start ending your days with gratitude. Before you sleep, ask yourself, what went well today? What can I appreciate about this day? Even on tough days, there's always something good. Maybe you showed courage, or learned something new, or simply kept going. Every small victory counts. Gratitude also improves focus. When you're thankful for what matters, you stop wasting attention on what doesn't. It clears your mind from noise and brings you back to what's real. And perhaps the greatest gift of gratitude is peace. It teaches you to stop chasing happiness and to start noticing it. The moment you realize you already have enough, life feels lighter. You stop competing, stop rushing, and start living. The habit of gratitude may seem gentle, but it's one of the strongest forms of power. It turns obstacles into lessons, stress into calm, and routine moments into joy. It reminds you that success is not just reaching the top, it's appreciating the climb. To build this habit, keep it simple. Each day, write down or say out loud what you're thankful for. When you face challenges, ask, what's the gift here? When you meet people, tell them what you appreciate about them. With time, gratitude will become your default state. You'll respond to life with patience, kindness, and hope. You'll stop searching for happiness and start creating it moment by moment. Gratitude doesn't just make you a happier person, it makes you a better leader, friend, and human being. It gives you emotional strength, clarity, and balance. So as you continue your journey to success, remember this: you don't need everything to be perfect before you feel grateful. Be grateful now, in this moment, because this moment is your life, and gratitude is what makes it beautiful. Chapter 6: The Habit of Positive Thinking. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have. It can be your greatest friend or your worst enemy. The way you think shapes how you live, how you feel, and what you become. Positive thinking is not about ignoring problems, it's about facing them with the belief that you can handle them. Positive thinking begins with awareness. Most people don't realize how negative their inner voice can be. That quiet voice that says, "You're not good enough," or "You always fail," is powerful. Over time, those thoughts become your truth. But here's the good news: you can change that voice. The first step is to listen. Notice what your mind says when things go wrong. Do you blame yourself? Do you give up too quickly? Do you see failure as the end or as a lesson? Every negative thought is a signal, a sign that you can choose a better one. When you start replacing those thoughts with positive ones, your world begins to change. It doesn't happen overnight, but like any habit, with practice, it becomes natural. You start believing in yourself again. You start taking chances. You start growing. Positive thinking is not pretending that everything is fine. It's choosing to look for the light, even in the dark. It's saying, "This is hard, but I can handle it." It's seeing challenges as opportunities to get stronger, not reasons to quit. Think of your mind as a garden. If you plant seeds of doubt and fear, you'll grow weeds. But if you plant seeds of hope and belief, you'll grow flowers. You can't control the weather, but you can control what you plant. That's the power of your thoughts. When you think positively, your brain literally changes. Science calls it neuroplasticity. Your brain rewires itself based on what you focus on. If you focus on problems, your brain becomes good at spotting more problems. If you focus on solutions, it becomes good at finding possibilities. Every time you choose a positive thought, you strengthen that pathway in your brain. Over time, positivity becomes your default mode. You don't have to force it. It just becomes who you are. Positive thinking also boosts your energy. Negativity drains you. When you tell yourself, "I can't," your body believes it. You feel tired, unmotivated, and stuck. But when you say, "I can figure this out," your brain releases energy and creativity. You feel alive again. It's not about fake optimism. It's about realistic hope. It's about believing that no matter what happens, you'll find a way. That belief alone changes your actions. When you believe you can, you try harder, and when you try harder, you often succeed. There's a story about a farmer who had a horse that ran away. Everyone told him, "That's bad luck." The farmer said, "Maybe." A few days later, the horse came back with 3 wild horses. Everyone said, "That's great luck." The farmer said, "Maybe." Then his son tried to ride one of the wild horses and broke his leg. Again, everyone said, "Bad luck." The farmer said, "Maybe." Later, soldiers came to the village to take young men to war, but they left his son behind because of the broken leg. The lesson? You never know what's truly good or bad in the moment. Positive thinking helps you stay calm and open-minded through it all. You learn to trust the process. Another key part of positive thinking is self-talk. The way you talk to yourself matters. Your mind listens. If you constantly criticize yourself, you'll start believing it. But if you speak with kindness and encouragement, you'll grow confidence. Start paying attention to your words. Instead of saying, "I'm terrible at this," say, "I'm learning." Instead of, "This is impossible," say, "This will take time, but I can improve." Those small shifts make a huge difference. Positive thinking also helps you handle people better. When you expect the best in others, you bring out the best in them. You become a source of calm, not chaos. People are drawn to positive energy because it feels safe, inspiring, and hopeful. But positive thinking doesn't mean ignoring reality. You can acknowledge problems while still believing in solutions. You can face pain while still holding on to hope. That's true strength, to stay positive in the storm. Gratitude and positivity work hand in hand. When you're grateful, it's easier to be positive. Gratitude reminds you that life isn't all bad, that even in tough times there's something to appreciate. When you face failure, positive thinking turns it into feedback. Instead of saying, "I failed," say, "I learned what doesn't work." Every mistake becomes a step forward, not a wall blocking your path. Think about every great success story you've heard. Athletes, inventors, leaders, artists. None of them succeeded without failure. What made them different was their mindset. They believed that every setback was temporary. That's the essence of positive thinking, seeing beyond the current moment. Here's something powerful. Your thoughts create emotions, and emotions drive actions. If your thoughts are negative, your emotions will pull you down. But if your thoughts are positive, your emotions lift you up. That's why positivity is not just mental, it's physical. You can train your brain to stay positive by practicing 3 things: awareness, replacement, and repetition. First, awareness. Notice when negative thoughts appear. Don't judge them, just observe. Second, replacement. Choose a better thought. Ask, what's something positive or helpful I can think instead? Third, repetition. Keep doing it every day. The more you practice, the stronger it becomes. Also, surround yourself with positive people. Energy is contagious. If you're around people who complain all the time, you'll start to do the same. But if you're around people who encourage and uplift, your mindset grows stronger. You can also feed your mind with positive content, books, podcasts, music, and conversations that inspire you. What you consume becomes what you think. Protect your mental space like it's your home. Don't let negativity move in. Remember, positivity is not something you wait for. It's something you choose. Even when life gives you reasons to be angry or afraid, you can still choose to think differently. That choice gives you power. The habit of positive thinking won't solve all your problems, but it will make you stronger than any problem you face. It helps you respond instead of react. It gives you patience when things go slow and courage when things get hard. Over time, you'll notice that your outer world begins to reflect your inner world. When you think better, you feel better. When you feel better, you act better. And when you act better, you attract better outcomes. Positive thinking builds resilience. It doesn't mean you never fall. It means you always rise again. It's the quiet confidence that says, I've been through worse, and I'll get through this too. So as you continue your journey toward success, protect your mind, treat it like the garden it is, pull out weeds of doubt, and plant seeds of hope every day. The more you nurture positivity, the more beautiful your life becomes. Your thoughts shape your destiny. If you want to change your life, start by changing your mind. Chapter 7. The Habit of Self-Discipline. If there is one habit that separates dreamers from doers, it's self-discipline. Talent may open doors, motivation may start the journey, but discipline is what keeps you going when the excitement fades. It's the quiet force that turns goals into results. Self-discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's waking up early when your body wants to sleep. It's saying no to distractions when your mind wants comfort. It's making a promise to yourself and keeping it, even when no one is watching. At first, self-discipline might sound like punishment, but it's not about restricting yourself. It's about freeing yourself from your impulses. When you build discipline, you become stronger than your emotions. You stop being a slave to comfort and start being a master of your choices. Think about it this way. Every time you give in to laziness or distraction, you train your brain to follow the easy path. But every time you push through and do the hard thing, you train your brain to choose strength. Over time, those small wins build power. The truth is, motivation doesn't last. Some days you'll feel inspired, but most days you won't. That's where discipline takes over. Discipline says, I'll do it anyway. Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you moving. Many people wait for the perfect time to begin, but discipline knows there is no perfect time, only now. The more you delay, the weaker your willpower becomes. Discipline is built through action, not intention. To develop self-discipline, start small. You don't have to change everything overnight. Choose one thing you can control today. Maybe waking up 10 minutes earlier, finishing a task before checking your phone, or going for a short walk every evening. Every small act of discipline strengthens your willpower muscle. Self-discipline also means learning to say no. No to procrastination. No to instant pleasure. No to the easy way out. Each no to weakness is a yes to growth. The strongest people aren't those who always push harder. They're the ones who know when to stay focused and when to walk away from distractions. There's a simple rule: discipline over desire. Desire says, I want to feel good now. Discipline says, I want to feel proud later. Success belongs to those who choose pride over pleasure. A disciplined person doesn't rely on emotion. They rely on structure. They plan their day, set priorities, and stick to routines. That structure becomes their freedom. When you know what needs to be done and when to do it, your mind becomes calm. Chaos fades when discipline enters. Think of great athletes, artists, or leaders. They don't wake up every day excited to practice or work, but they show up anyway. That's the power of habit. They've trained their bodies and minds to act, not argue. They don't wait for the mood. They create the momentum. Discipline also means keeping promises to yourself. Every time you break a promise, like skipping a workout or ignoring a task, you teach your mind that your word doesn't matter. But when you keep your word, you build trust with yourself. You start believing, if I say I'll do it, I will. That belief is the foundation of confidence. There's a story about a man who wanted to climb a mountain. At the bottom, he felt strong and motivated, but halfway up, his legs began to shake, and his mind told him to stop. He looked at how far he still had to go, and almost gave up. Then he remembered why he started. He took one more step, then another. Eventually, he reached the top. Not because he was the strongest, but because he refused to quit. That's self-discipline, moving forward one step at a time, no matter how hard it gets. Discipline and freedom might sound like opposites, but they're actually partners. Without discipline, you're trapped by impulse, scrolling endlessly, overeating, overthinking, wasting time. But with discipline, you gain control. You earn the freedom to live life on your terms. It's like learning an instrument. At first, practice feels repetitive and boring. But once you master the basics, you can play freely. Freedom is the reward of discipline. Self-discipline is not about perfection. You will fail, you will slip. The goal isn't to never fall, it's to never stay down. Each time you fall and get back up, your discipline grows stronger. That's how character is built. To strengthen your discipline, remove temptation. If you want to study, put your phone away. If you want to eat healthy, don't keep junk food nearby. Make the right choice the easy one. Discipline is easier when your environment supports it. Also, use small wins to build momentum. Finish one small task early in the day, like making your bed or exercising. That single act of discipline sets the tone for the rest of your day. It tells your brain, I'm in control. Remember, discipline isn't a one-time decision, it's a daily choice. It's built in quiet moments, when no one's cheering you on. It's built in the early mornings, the late nights, the in-between hours when you'd rather rest. That's where greatness grows. Self-discipline gives you confidence because you know you can count on yourself. You don't need others to push you. Your own inner drive becomes enough. The more you rely on discipline, the less you rely on luck. Sometimes discipline feels lonely. People may not understand why you work so hard or sacrifice comfort. But one day, when your results speak louder than words, they'll see the power of consistency. There's a saying, if you want to be easy on yourself now, life will be hard later. If you are hard on yourself now, life will be easier later. Discipline is choosing the harder path today, so tomorrow becomes smoother. It's not always glamorous, but it's always worth it. Because discipline doesn't just change your habits, it changes your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries and start seeing yourself as someone who does. That shift changes everything. So how do you begin? Start today. Pick one small thing and do it with full commitment. Don't aim for perfect. Just aim for consistent. Even if it's 5 minutes a day, do it. Those minutes add up, and soon discipline becomes part of who you are. When you master self-discipline, you no longer wait for inspiration, you create it. You stop being controlled by mood or circumstance. You become the kind of person who does what's right, not what's easy. Discipline builds momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence builds success. And success builds freedom. That's the power of self-discipline, the invisible habit behind every visible success. Chapter 8, The Habit of Continuous Learning. The world is always changing, and the people who succeed are the ones who keep learning. Success isn't about knowing everything, it's about being willing to learn more than yesterday. The habit of continuous learning separates those who grow from those who stagnate. Learning isn't limited to classrooms or books. Every experience, success, or failure can teach you something valuable. Life itself is the ultimate teacher. The key is to pay attention, ask questions, and stay curious. Curiosity is the spark that keeps your mind alive. Many people stop learning because they think they already know enough, but knowledge isn't a finish line, it's a journey. The more you learn, the more you realize how much you don't know. That realization is not discouraging, it's inspiring. It shows there's always room to grow. Continuous learning builds resilience. When you acquire new skills, you become adaptable. Change becomes less intimidating. Challenges become opportunities instead of obstacles. The more you know, the more confident you become in facing the unknown. To develop this habit, start small. Dedicate a few minutes each day to reading, listening, or practicing a new skill. Over time, those minutes add up to months and years of growth. The compound effect of learning is tremendous. It multiplies your abilities and your options. Learning also requires humility. Accept that you don't know everything and that mistakes are part of the process. Every mistake is a lesson waiting to be understood. People who refuse to learn from failure trap themselves in repeating it. Those who embrace learning use failure as a stepping stone. Another important part of learning is curiosity. Ask questions. Why does this work? How can I do it better? What can I learn from this person or situation? Curiosity opens doors to insights that routine thinking never finds. Continuous learning also means seeking feedback. Honest feedback is a mirror that reflects your blind spots. It might be uncomfortable, but it's invaluable. Growth requires seeing yourself as you really are, not as you wish to be. The habit of learning keeps your mind active and flexible. People who stop learning often become rigid and resistant to change. But learners are adaptable. They evolve with new information and situations, turning challenges into opportunities. Learning isn't just for career or skill building, it also shapes character. You learn patience, persistence, and perspective. You understand other people better. You see the world with more clarity. Every new lesson adds depth to your thinking. The most successful people don't just rely on talent, they rely on what they've learned. Knowledge gives them an edge that effort alone cannot. Learning equips you to solve problems faster, make better decisions, and seize opportunities that others miss. Another way to build this habit is to immerse yourself in the right environment. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and encourage growth. Attend workshops, read books, or listen to podcasts that expand your thinking. Your environment can either fuel your curiosity or drain it. Continuous learning also requires discipline. You must make time to study, practice, and reflect. Learning isn't always exciting. It can be hard, tedious, or slow, but those who persevere reap rewards that last a lifetime. Reflection is a key part of learning. After every experience, ask yourself, what worked? What didn't? What can I do differently next time? Reflection turns raw experience into actionable knowledge. It turns mistakes into wisdom and effort into mastery. The habit of learning also protects you from stagnation. If you stop growing, the world moves past you. But if you keep learning, you remain relevant, capable, and prepared for change. Every day becomes an opportunity to improve yourself. Learning doesn't always have to be formal. You can learn from conversations, challenges, observations, or even failures. Life is full of teachers. You just need to notice them. One of the most important lessons is that learning never ends. There is no point where you know enough. The people who achieve greatness are lifelong learners. They read constantly, ask questions, and experiment. They don't stop because they're smart. They stop because they stop caring. To build this habit, be intentional. Set learning goals. Choose one new skill, book, or area of knowledge to focus on. Track your progress. Every day, even a small step forward counts. Those steps build momentum and confidence. Learning also teaches humility. The more you learn, the more you realize how much there is still to know. That humility keeps you open-minded, curious, and teachable, qualities that attract mentors, opportunities, and growth. Don't fear mistakes. They are part of learning. Every failed attempt carries a lesson. The sooner you accept failure as feedback, the faster you grow. The habit of learning transforms setbacks into stepping stones. Another aspect is teaching. When you share what you've learned, you deepen your understanding. Explaining a concept forces your brain to organize, simplify, and clarify your knowledge. Teaching also inspires others and spreads growth. The habit of continuous learning also improves creativity. The more knowledge you accumulate, the more ideas you can combine. Innovation is rarely about starting from nothing. It's about connecting what you already know in new ways. Your learning journey is personal. Don't compare yourself to others. Focus on your own growth. Everyone has different paths, different paces, and different lessons. What matters is consistent progress, not speed. Even small daily learning compounds. 10 minutes of reading a day may seem insignificant, but after a year, that's over 60 hours of new knowledge. Over a lifetime, it's thousands of hours, enough to transform your life. Continuous learning also builds confidence. When you know more, you can do more. You make better decisions, handle challenges effectively, and adapt quickly. Knowledge gives power, but only when applied. Finally, the habit of learning cultivates curiosity and joy. Life becomes an adventure when you're always discovering. You notice patterns, explore ideas, and uncover possibilities. You see opportunities everywhere because you've trained your mind to notice them. In the end, success is not just about what you achieve, it's about how you grow. Continuous learning is the engine that drives that growth. Every day is a chance to become wiser, stronger, and more capable. When you commit to learning every day, life rewards you. You don't just survive, you thrive. You don't just follow, you lead. You don't just dream, you achieve. Learning is not a task, it's a lifestyle. Adopt it, commit to it, and watch how your life transforms, one lesson at a time. Chapter 9. The Habit of Time Management. Time is the one resource we all share equally, yet it's the one we often waste the most. Everyone has 24 hours in a day, but how those hours are used makes all the difference. The habit of managing your time effectively is a key to success because it allows you to focus on what truly matters and get more done without burning out. Time management is not about filling every minute with tasks. It's about making sure the time you spend aligns with your goals. Most people confuse being busy with being productive. They run from task to task, but at the end of the day, little progress has been made toward their real objectives. Effective time management changes that. The first step is awareness. Observe how you spend your day. Track your activities for a week. You might be surprised to see how much time goes to distractions, social media, or tasks that aren't important. Awareness is the first step to control. Once you know where your time goes, prioritize. Ask yourself, which tasks will have the biggest impact on my life and goals? Focus on those first. This habit ensures that your energy goes to what truly matters, rather than what seems urgent but is not important. Planning is essential. A day without a plan is like a ship without a rudder. Decide what you want to achieve, break it down into manageable tasks, and set realistic deadlines. When you know what needs to be done, it's easier to stay focused and avoid wasting time. Another key habit is batching similar tasks. Group similar activities together so your brain can stay in the same mode instead of constantly switching. Switching tasks repeatedly drains mental energy and reduces efficiency. Batching keeps you in the flow and maximizes productivity. Time management also requires learning to say no. Every yes to something that doesn't matter is a no to something that does. The most successful people are masters of selective attention. They choose where to invest their time carefully. Avoiding distractions is crucial. Turn off notifications, set specific times for checking email or messages, and create a workspace that supports focus. Protect your attention like it's the most valuable asset, because it is. Time without focus is wasted effort. Effective time management also includes breaks. Working non-stop may seem productive, but it reduces efficiency and creativity over time. Short breaks help you recharge and maintain high energy throughout the day. Discipline yourself to rest strategically, not randomly. Set routines to anchor your day. Habits like waking up at the same time, dedicating morning hours to deep work, or reviewing your plan every evening create structure. Routine saves decision-making energy and ensures that important tasks are prioritized automatically. Delegation is another aspect of managing time. You don't have to do everything yourself. Identify tasks that others can do and let them handle it. This frees you to focus on what only you can accomplish. Time management also requires flexibility. Unexpected events happen, plans change, and emergencies arise. Being able to adapt without losing focus is part of mastering your schedule. Discipline doesn't mean rigidity, it means control, even when life is unpredictable. Goal setting plays a big role. Clear goals act as a compass for your time. When you know what you want to achieve, it's easier to decide how to spend each hour. Without goals, time slips away unnoticed, leaving a feeling of wasted potential. Eliminate time-wasting habits. Identify activities that give little return on your investment, like excessive scrolling, unnecessary meetings or indecision, and reduce or remove them. Every minute saved can be invested in something meaningful. Tracking progress is vital. At the end of each day or week, review what you accomplished and what you could do better. This habit keeps you accountable to yourself and ensures continuous improvement. Another important habit is prioritizing energy, not just time. Recognize when you are most alert and focused during the day, and schedule your most important tasks for that period. Don't waste high-energy hours on trivial work. Time management also teaches patience. Not everything can be done at once. Learning to pace yourself and focus on the most important tasks prevents overwhelm and stress. Small, consistent efforts over time lead to big results. Avoid multitasking. While it feels like doing more, multitasking reduces quality and efficiency. Focus on one task at a time, complete it, and then move to the next. Single tasking allows your brain to work deeply and produce better results. Learn to set deadlines, even for tasks that don't have them. Deadlines create urgency and focus, preventing procrastination. Treat every task like it matters, because in reality, your time matters. The habit of reviewing your day is also powerful. At night, ask yourself, did I spend my time wisely? Did I focus on what mattered? Did I make progress on my goals? Reflection improves awareness and helps you plan better for tomorrow. Time management doesn't just increase productivity, it reduces stress. When you know how to spend your time, deadlines become manageable and your mind feels calmer. You gain a sense of control over your life. Finally, remember that time is your most precious resource. Unlike money, you cannot earn more of it. Every hour that passes is gone forever. The way you manage your time determines the quality of your life, the speed of your growth, and the achievement of your dreams. The habit of time management transforms ordinary people into efficient achievers. It turns chaos into clarity, pressure into productivity, and wasted hours into progress. Master this habit, and you will master the way your life unfolds. When you combine awareness, planning, focus, and reflection, you create a life that is intentional, productive, and meaningful. Time management is not just about doing more, it's about doing what matters most, with energy, attention, and purpose. Your future is shaped by how you spend your time today. Make each minute count, treat it as an investment, and over time, the compound effect of well-managed hours will create the life you've always imagined. Chapter 10. The Habit of Persistence. Persistence is the habit that separates those who dream from those who achieve. Talent and intelligence matter, but without persistence, they are wasted potential. Persistence is about continuing, even when progress feels slow, when obstacles appear, and when doubt tries to take over. Persistence means showing up day after day, even when motivation disappears. Motivation is temporary, it fluctuates like the weather. But persistence is constant. It keeps you moving forward when feelings tell you to stop. Every small, consistent step compounds into meaningful results over time. The world is full of examples of people who succeeded not because they were the most talented, but because they refused to quit. Think of inventors, athletes, or writers. Each faced countless failures, rejections, and setbacks, yet they kept going. Persistence is about refusing to let failure define you. At its core, persistence is built on belief. You must believe that your efforts matter and that your goals are worth the struggle. That belief acts as a fuel, keeping you moving when the path seems impossible. Without belief, obstacles become barriers. With belief, obstacles become lessons. Persistence also requires patience. Big achievements rarely happen overnight. Mountains are climbed one step at a time. Rivers are crossed one stone at a time. Progress may be invisible in the short term, but every effort counts. Patience allows you to trust the process and continue steadily. Another key aspect of persistence is resilience. Resilience is the ability to recover from setbacks, to rise after failure, and to keep trying even when disappointment is heavy. The persistent person doesn't see failure as the end. They see it as feedback, a chance to adjust and try again. Persistence is strengthened through habit. When you make showing up a habit, it becomes easier to continue even when circumstances are difficult. A daily routine of effort, no matter how small, compounds into unstoppable momentum. Setbacks are inevitable, but persistence teaches you to adapt. Every obstacle carries information. Instead of giving up, analyze what went wrong. Adjust your approach, refine your plan, and continue moving forward. Persistence is not blind stubbornness, it's strategic determination. To develop persistence, start with small challenges. Commit to finishing tasks that test your willpower. Each completed challenge builds confidence and reinforces the habit of not giving up. Over time, you'll face bigger challenges with greater ease. Persistence also demands mental toughness. You must overcome fear, doubt, and the temptation of comfort. Every time you push through resistance, you strengthen your inner resolve. That strength becomes your advantage, distinguishing you from those who give up. Sometimes persistence requires courage. You may face criticism, skepticism, or ridicule. People may not understand why you keep going, especially when success is distant. Courage allows you to continue despite these external pressures. Another secret of persistence is focus. Stay clear on your goals. Don't let distractions or discouragements divert your attention. The more focused you are, the more energy you invest in meaningful action. Persistence is also about consistency, not intensity. You don't have to do everything at once. Small, steady effort repeated over time leads to results far greater than occasional bursts of hard work. Like a river carving a canyon, persistence wears down obstacles gradually, but powerfully. Visualizing success can strengthen persistence. Imagine the moment you achieve your goal, the feelings of accomplishment and pride. When you hold that image in your mind, it becomes a source of motivation to keep moving forward. Persistence also builds character. Each time you refuse to quit, you cultivate discipline, resilience, and patience. These qualities are valuable in every area of life, not just in achieving a goal. They become part of who you are. Even when progress is invisible, persistence matters. Sometimes you won't see results for weeks, months, or even years. But every effort lays the foundation for future success. Persistence turns invisible work into visible results over time. The persistent person learns to embrace failure as a teacher. Failure is not shame, it's information. It shows what doesn't work, guiding you toward what does. Persistence transforms failure into stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Persistence also requires self-compassion. You will stumble, you will get discouraged, but don't let temporary setbacks define your journey. Treat yourself kindly, refocus, and continue. Compassion fuels endurance, preventing burnout and despair. One of the greatest lessons of persistence is that success is rarely linear. There will be twists, turns, and detours. Those who persist are not derailed by these curves. They navigate them. They understand that progress often comes in waves, not straight lines. Persistence is contagious. When others see your unwavering effort, they are inspired. Your commitment to continue, even in the face of difficulty, becomes a source of motivation for those around you. You lead by example. Time management and persistence work hand in hand. By using your time wisely, you create consistent opportunities to act. Persistence ensures that you follow through on those opportunities, turning plans into achievements. Ultimately, persistence is about refusing to let temporary discomfort stop you from achieving lasting results. It's about keeping your eyes on the horizon, taking the next step and the next. No matter how small, every step matters. Every action counts. Persistence transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement. It turns obstacles into opportunities, challenges into growth, and dreams into reality. Without persistence, potential is wasted. With it, even ordinary people can achieve extraordinary things. Remember this. When you face difficulties, when the journey feels too long, when progress seems invisible, keep going. Persistence is the habit that turns effort into excellence. It's the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Success belongs to those who refuse to quit. The habit of persistence ensures that you will be among them. Chapter 11. The habit of networking and relationships. No one achieves success alone. Even the most talented and hard-working people rely on others to guide them, support them, and open doors. The habit of building strong relationships and networking is one of the most powerful tools for personal and professional growth. Network is not about collecting contacts or asking for favors. It's about forming meaningful connections, understanding people, and offering value. Relationships built on trust, respect, and mutual benefit last longer and bring greater opportunities than transactional interactions. Strong relationships begin with genuine interest. People can sense when your attention is sincere. Ask questions, listen carefully, and remember details about others. A simple act of remembering someone's name, a past conversation, or their interests shows that you value them. Networking also requires giving before receiving. Help others without expecting anything in return. Share knowledge, offer support, and celebrate their successes. This creates goodwill and establishes a foundation for trust. Over time, people naturally want to support those who support them. Communication is key. Clear, honest, and respectful communication strengthens relationships. Misunderstandings often arise from poor communication, so always make your intentions and expectations clear. Listening is equally important. Sometimes just giving someone the space to share is more valuable than offering advice. Another important habit is consistency. Relationships don't grow overnight. Check in regularly, follow up on commitments, and maintain contact. Small gestures like sending a message or congratulating someone on an achievement accumulate into long-lasting bonds. Networking is also about diversity. Surround yourself with people from different backgrounds, industries, and experiences. Diverse connections broaden your perspective, spark creativity, and introduce you to opportunities you wouldn't encounter otherwise. Trust is the foundation of any relationship. Be reliable, keep your word, and act with integrity. If people trust you, doors will open. If they doubt you, connections wither. Trust is earned through consistent, respectful, and honest behavior. Relationships are two-way streets. Don't just seek to benefit. Invest in others' growth as well. Offer encouragement, share resources, and celebrate their progress. The more you contribute, the more natural and rewarding your network becomes. Networking also requires courage. Reaching out to someone new, attending events, or introducing yourself can feel intimidating. But each small step builds confidence. Over time, networking becomes easier and more natural. Social skills are important, but authenticity is crucial. People respond to genuine enthusiasm and kindness. Don't try to impress with fake confidence or insincere flattery. Be real. People can sense authenticity, and it creates stronger bonds. Another habit is seeking mentorship and guidance. Learn from those who have walked the path before you. Ask questions, observe their actions, and absorb lessons. Mentors accelerate growth because they provide knowledge and perspectives you might not gain on your own. Similarly, be open to mentoring others. Sharing your knowledge strengthens your relationships and reinforces your own learning. Teaching is a powerful way to solidify your understanding while building meaningful connections. Networking also involves patience. Opportunities rarely appear immediately. Building trust, demonstrating competence, and nurturing relationships take time. Persistence in relationship building pays off over months and years, not days. Conflict is inevitable in relationships. Learning to navigate disagreements respectfully and constructively is a valuable habit. Address issues calmly, listen actively, and focus on solutions rather than blame. Strong relationships grow stronger through healthy conflict resolution. Gratitude strengthens networking. Express appreciation for support, advice, and assistance. A simple thank you message can deepen a connection and leave a lasting impression. Gratitude shows people that you recognize and value their contributions. Networking isn't limited to in-person interactions. Social media, professional platforms, and online communities allow you to connect globally. Use these tools wisely, share insights, engage in meaningful conversations, and build your reputation as someone valuable to know. Effective relationships also require boundaries. Not every connection needs to be deep or personal. Recognize when to protect your time, energy, and focus. Respect others' boundaries as well. Healthy boundaries prevent burnout and maintain mutual respect. The habit of networking and building relationships also improves emotional intelligence. By engaging with others, you develop empathy, active listening, and understanding. These skills are essential for leadership, teamwork, and collaboration. Remember, networking is not about what you can get. It's about who you can become through connections. Each relationship has the potential to teach you something, challenge your thinking, or inspire new ideas. Approach networking as a learning opportunity rather than a transactional task. Over time, a strong network multiplies opportunities, recommendations, introductions, collaborations, and insights flow naturally. But this only works if your network is genuine, maintained, and nurtured consistently. Finally, the habit of nurturing relationships creates a sense of community. No one thrives in isolation. Connections bring support in difficult times, celebration in achievements, and perspective when challenges arise. Success becomes richer and more meaningful when shared. In the end, building strong relationships is both an art and a habit. Approach people with curiosity, kindness, and authenticity. Offer value, seek learning, and stay consistent. Over time, your network becomes a powerful foundation that amplifies your growth, success, and fulfillment. Chapter 12: The Habit of Reflection and Self-Assessment. Success doesn't come from action alone. It comes from understanding, learning, and growing from every experience. The habit of reflection and self-assessment allows you to see what works, what doesn't, and how you can improve. It's the mirror that shows your true progress and points the way forward. Reflection is more than thinking about the past. It's deliberate, focused, and honest examination of your actions, decisions, and results. Self-assessment is the process of measuring yourself against your goals and values. Together they create insight that fuels growth. Many people rush through life without pausing to reflect. They repeat mistakes, waste energy on unproductive habits, and fail to learn from experience. Reflection breaks that cycle. It turns ordinary experience into wisdom. The first step in building this habit is setting aside time regularly. A few minutes at the end of each day, or a longer period each week, can make a difference. Use this time to think about your actions, your choices, and your progress. Ask yourself key questions. What went well today? What could I have done better? Did I move closer to my goals? Reflection is honest, not judgmental. It's about learning, not criticizing yourself. Self-assessment helps you measure progress without self-punishment. Journaling is a powerful tool for reflection. Writing down your thoughts clarifies your mind and helps you see patterns. When you write about successes, failures, and lessons learned, you externalize your thinking. Over time, you can review your entries and notice growth. Reflection also requires courage. It's easier to avoid looking at mistakes or weaknesses, but growth comes from facing them. When you acknowledge errors, you gain insight. When you understand weaknesses, you can work on them. That honesty is essential for improvement. Self-assessment is not just about failures. Celebrate your wins, however small. Recognize the moments when you stayed disciplined, persistent, or focused. Appreciating progress builds confidence and motivates you to continue. Another aspect is questioning assumptions. Reflection allows you to examine your beliefs, decisions, and strategies. Are they effective? Are they aligned with your values? Sometimes what feels comfortable is not what leads to growth. Honest self-assessment helps you adjust course. Reflection also strengthens decision-making. When you review past choices, you learn what led to success and what caused setbacks. That knowledge informs future decisions, making them smarter and more effective. Learning from failure is a major benefit of this habit. Failure is unavoidable, but reflection transforms it into opportunity. Ask yourself, why did this happen? What can I do differently next time? Failure without reflection is wasted experience. Failure with reflection becomes fuel for success. The habit of reflection improves self-awareness. Understanding your emotions, triggers, and patterns allows you to manage yourself better. When you know why you act a certain way, you gain control over your responses. Emotional intelligence grows from this insight. Another key part is setting goals and measuring them against results. Self-assessment helps you track whether your actions are aligned with your objectives. If they're not, reflection shows you how to adjust. If they are, it reinforces positive habits. Reflection also nurtures creativity. When you pause to think deeply, your mind makes connections and discovers solutions you might miss in the rush of daily life. Ideas emerge when you allow space to process and observe. Consistency is essential. Reflection is most effective when practiced regularly. Daily reflection builds awareness of small patterns. Weekly or monthly reflection reveals larger trends and long-term growth. The more consistent you are, the clearer the insights become. Reflection also teaches humility. It reminds you that no matter how much you achieve, there is always room to grow. It keeps you curious, open-minded, and teachable, qualities that are critical for lifelong success. Self-assessment is not about comparing yourself to others. It's about comparing yourself to your past self. Are you improving? Are you learning? Are you moving closer to your potential? That focus ensures that growth remains personal and meaningful. Feedback from others enhances reflection. Seek input from mentors, colleagues, or friends. Others can see blind spots you might miss. Accept constructive feedback with an open mind, using it to refine your actions and decisions. Reflection also fosters gratitude. When you pause to review your progress, you see achievements, effort, and growth that might otherwise go unnoticed. Gratitude for your journey boosts motivation and satisfaction. One effective method is asking reflective questions before bed. What did I accomplish today? What lessons did I learn? What challenges did I overcome? What will I do differently tomorrow? Simple questions like these keep your growth continuous. Self-assessment is an ongoing process. There is no final destination, only continuous improvement. Each reflection informs the next action. Each insight guides the next decision. Each lesson shapes the next opportunity. The habit of reflection turns routine into meaning. It turns mistakes into lessons. It turns effort into strategy. It transforms busy action into deliberate growth. Without it, progress is random. With it, every step counts. Finally, reflection strengthens resilience. By reviewing challenges and seeing how you overcame them, you remind yourself of your capacity. You gain confidence in facing future difficulties, knowing you have learned and grown through experience. In the end, reflection and self-assessment are the habits that make all other habits stronger. Discipline, persistence, learning, relationships all benefit when you pause to observe, evaluate, and improve. Adopting this habit